breaking up is never easy to do. It's always difficult to do. And if you are a business owner, an entrepreneur, and you utilize virtual assistant support for your business, there comes a time, or you should be asking yourself questions while you're working, during this working relationship. And you should constantly step back and think, is this worth the investment? Is the cost outweighing the benefit, or is the cost worth it? Are you finding it beneficial? Now, we at PMA Web Services, we speak to prospect clients often, and we do hear pretty similar statements from business owners who are working with virtual support. They're utilizing virtual support, whether it is a team or they are utilizing just a solo VA who they're working with directly. And we hear a lot of statements, and there's some pretty common ones that we hear. And these statements are things that if you feel you're asking these things or you feel the same way, it's probably time to think about having a conversation with your VA or potentially moving on to different support that is more beneficial to you and your business, because that's what virtual support or any support that you seek out is for. It's to take the weight off your shoulders and to help you achieve the goals that you need to achieve to be successful. So one of the big things that we hear from prospect clients is, I'm always asking for things. Now, if you are working with, whether it's a virtual team or a virtual assistant who's just a single virtual assistant, if you feel like you're always chasing them down, asking for turnaround times, when's my project going to be complete? How many hours is it going to take? So you can have an idea of billing depending on the billing agreement you have in place. You should never be chasing, so to speak. You should never be the one who's doing all of the emailing, asking the questions. They should be kind of thinking ahead and keeping you apprised of your projects, what they may need from you in order to complete it, where things are, just sending an update when you should expect it to be completed, the turnaround time, and if it's going to take longer than the original turnaround time that they promised, they should let you know. Again, you should always be apprised of where things are. Now, your VA never seems to be sure of what they're doing. Now, this can be a sign of many things. It can just be a communication glitch. It also typically can lead to something along the lines of your VA may have something in their skill set, or they said they have mastered in their skill set and they're competent, like WordPress, for example, and they're working on some website updates on your WordPress website, and they just don't seem to be sure of what they're doing, and things aren't going well. You're not seeing it progress as you anticipated it to progress, and it really does seem that they're doing something that is outside of their skill set. And that's not okay, and it's probably time to either have a conversation or just with your VA, or just pull that project at least specifically away and find the support from someone who is competent in that skill and has mastered it. It's not okay to list a skill on your skill set, any virtual assistant on a skill set, and not be competent, because everybody loses in the end. The VA, they may lose out on the work and the project and their credibility even. Your clients and you lose out on the end. You have promised something to your clients and may not get to them in time. So that's really important that your virtual assistant is clear with their skill set and what they're a master of and what they're competent in. And it's okay to ask Do you have work samples? How many times have you, how many product launches have you done and set up email sequences for in a certain, whether it's in a shopping cart or just anything. It's okay to ask these questions. It may feel uncomfortable, but you need to, just to make sure you're getting the support that you need as a business owner so you can achieve the goals and be a successful business owner. Now, if you feel like you're paying for a learning curve, that's a huge problem. And the only time it is okay, in our opinion here at PMA, to pay for a learning curve is if you have, let's say you have a great working relationship with your VA and you're happy, you don't want to move on, you would like to continue this. However, they are not familiar with a certain, let's say just for example, membership site platform, and you use that platform for your membership site, and you are willing to pay for them to learn that so you can continue working together. Now that's okay. That's an agreed upon, an agreement that you have set in place, and maybe you're willing to pay for the hours it takes or whatever you decide. That's okay. But if you're paying for someone who's continually learning WordPress and, tweaking their Infusionsoft skills and, whatever it is, that's not okay on your dime unless it's agreed upon. Now, your VA is great, but you're never sure when they're in the office. That's really a communication issue. Your VA or team should be upfront at the beginning of the relationship of their office hours. They should always let you know when they're going to be out of the office, if they know ahead of time, like a vacation or any time away from the office. Also, we're human. People have emergencies or get sick. That happens, but it shouldn't be something that's happening all the time. It should be a working relationship where you can count on that support being there when you expect it to be there, like regular office hours or whatever they are, that you're aware of them. So it's something it's okay to ask for, especially at the beginning of the relationship. And but if you find that it's not consistent and you feel that it's just not working for you, it's probably time to move on. Now, we would love to hear from you. Drop us a line in our comments section. If you have any feedback, questions, stories, anything to share, we always love to hear from you. If you have not already liked the PMA Web Services Facebook page, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Thank you for tuning in to PMA Facebook Live, and we will see you next week.